I tell them suckers to move. I ain't in the mood. Got me with the crew, let me do what I do. I tell them suckers to poof. Got me in the booth, lobby in the truth. Let me do what I do. Yeah, remember when the U come through, enter the music jungle. Or back with the block, I used to rock, I used to fumble. I still rock down, drop the ball when I want to. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Manny.
My name's Alberto.
This is the OnlyFights Podcast.
Episode 16.
Yeah, episode 16.
So what's up, man? How was your weekend?
Man, fuck my weekend, bro. I ain't do shit. All I did was stay home and watch fights.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, where was you at, man?
Well, you already know. I went to NYC, Madison Square Garden for UFC 268.
Nice.
Man, it was crazy.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
I didn't watch any of the boxing, so why don't you tell me what happened in boxing
Yeah,
first?
I got you. Yeah, let's I'm gonna start with on Friday, Michaela Mayer took on Maeva Hamadouche. That was a unification bout and possibly fight of the year, man. Those chicks went at it, bro, for 10 rounds.
Oh, that was the unification fight?
Yeah. They freaking man. Hamadouche was she started off great. She was very relentless and bro, like literally they just did not stop punching for, you know, you could say it's a little easier for them because it's 2 minute rounds, but like, bro, they was going in. It was crazy.
Yeah, I did see some of the highlights on Instagram and shit.
Yeah, so you know, towards the middle of the fight, Michaela Mayer, she was always game, you know, even in the rounds that I thought she lost, but she started taking over towards the middle of the fight, and I thought she won the fight, rightfully so. So I'm not mad at her getting the decision, but damn, those judges did not give Hamadouche any credit, bro. Like,
damn.
I don't have the scores on me, but it was one of them was a shutout. One of the judges had a shutout.
Wow.
I remember that. I think what it was is one of the judges had a shutout. One of the judges gave Hamadouche 1 round, and then one gave her 2 rounds, which I thought was just like a tragedy. Just even though you got the right scorecard or decision,
yeah,
just a terrible scorecard, man, from all 3 judges, man. It was pretty embarrassing to like listen to watch such a great fight. Like I said, that might be my fight of the year. But then to hear those numbers, it was crazy, man. It was bad. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I didn't catch any of the undercard on that. But I just shoot right into the Canelo fight or card rather.
Yeah.
I didn't watch. Man, listen, I was watching UFC, bro. You know what I'm saying? I really was,
and they didn't wait this time. I was interested to see if they would wait like they did last time.
They you know what? They literally had a whole article online about Steven Espinoza saying like we're not gonna do what the Zone did.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember commenting on that, and I said, so no pre-fight nap.
Yeah.
So yeah, nah. But I saw some of it, man. I saw Ray Vargas outpointing Leonardo Baez. It was a pretty thrilling fight. You know, combi box stats show over 1,000 punches thrown. You know, they went at it pretty much. Elvis Rodriguez stops Juan Pablo Romero in the 5th round. And in the co-main, you had Anthony Durrell with a sensational 1-punch knockout. I showed you that.
Yeah, I did see that.
That was
very nice.
That was nasty, bro. It was against Marcus Hernandez, who's you know, seasoned journeyman, you could say, but nonetheless, man, it was beautiful, man. Right uppercut, dropped him.
Yeah.
Gets to his feet around like the 8 count, but the referee stops it, and you know, like rightfully so, man.
Yeah,
wobbling all over the ring, and it was crazy, man. Yeah, good comeback fight. I can't remember Durrell's last fight. I think he had a split decision draw against Keyshawn Davis or Kyron Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever David Benavidez is gonna fight next week. So we'll get into that. But
yeah.
Anyway, so you know, good comeback win for him. And then main event, undisputed
Middleweight.
on the super middleweight on the line, super middleweight championship on the line. Caleb Plant, Sweet Hands taking on Saul Canelo Alvarez. This was a really good fight, man. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
Yeah, I was kind
Ca-
of pissed that it started. I think it started right around the time the
the
UFC co-main started.
the Rose fight,
Yeah,
yeah. So I couldn't really catch that.
I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to like watch the UFC fight, like get like leave and possibly like pop in like to a bar or something, and they had the Canelo
Yeah,
fight on. That was like what I was hoping for, but it didn't happen.
yeah, nah. Uh, so check this out, man. Caleb Plant, he comes out to the ring with
The
Conway the
machine.
Machine, who was one of my favorite rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like recently, I was hip to Griselda long before a lot of these guys are. So
Yeah, I guess
you
you
know.
can kind of say he almost went. He's kind of went like mainstream now. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. But I still like him. So
oh yeah, for
I
sure.
thought it was dope to see him. With Caleb Plant.
Yeah, I was
Unfortunately,
surprised.
I kind of hate when rappers do that because a lot of times the microphones in these arenas, especially in the Madison Square Garden, when there's fights, the microphones are set to be like delayed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like if a rapper is rapping on beat, it's not gonna come. It's not gonna sound on beat. Um, in the
Especially
stadium.
especially on TV. I think TV then it's even worse.
Yeah, and it was very noticeable. It was like really bad. He performed that one song. It's like the second song on his album. But I was like, oh man, that's not cool, man. Um, but then Canelo comes out. He came with he came out with a singer too, like a Mexican
Yeah, of
uh
course.
singer, a guitar player. It was dope though. Like I enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he came out with the crown on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but as far as the fight goes, it was, man. I thought I thought it was all Plant in like the first 4 rounds.
Yeah.
I gave Plant the first 4 rounds.
Wow.
Um, he looked good. He Canelo was landing hard shots, but I thought Plant was just more active
Mm-hmm.
and throwing more. He was being walked down, but Canelo was stalking. But Plant was just really slick, showing good defense and speed, all that good stuff. All the things that we pretty much said
Yeah.
would give Canelo trouble.
So it looked competitive early.
Oh yeah, I thought so. Um, round three, I have it a swing round.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I put it like this. I'm sure like most people know what happened. You know what I'm saying? I had it even going after the after 10 rounds, going into the 11th, and with 2 swing rounds. So I could have easily saw it 7-3 for Canelo.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought it was a pretty competitive fight, man. Canelo looked very frustrated around like the eighth and ninth round because I think they said that they wanted to finish it somewhere from the seventh to ninth
Yeah,
round,
that's what he was calling for.
and he just looked really frustrated that he didn't get the job done when he wanted to. Um, in the 10th round, Canelo comes out and really starts landing on Plant,
Mm-hmm.
um, discouraging him, and might have even hurt him then. But obviously, it was that 11th round. Man, that was crazy. He lands a left hook
Yeah.
and
Clearly hurts him.
hurts him, stuns him. Um, keeps landing punches that aren't landing clean, man. But Plant's just hurt from
Yeah.
that left hook, and he goes down, gets up. He doesn't look good. He gets up. He's like running across the ring. That wasn't a good look.
Yeah, it didn't look good. He like ran to the
Um,
corner.
yeah, and referee asked him if he wanted to continue. He looked really offended. He was like, "Yeah." um, I like Caleb Plant, man, and you know what? After this fight, man, I like him even more. Like he showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of game,
Yeah.
But once Canelo got you hurt, man, he's a great finisher,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what he did, man. He had him up against the ropes. Um, Plant did make a miss, like 2 3 punches, before eventually he got caught again with the left,
Yeah.
and Yeah, that was it. He goes down. I don't even think the referee counted. Um,
Yeah, no, the way he went down was pretty bad.
yeah, it was bad, man. Canelo,
Yeah,
he's king, bro. Like it's
pound for pound.
it's yeah, yeah. It's really hard to put anybody in front of him right now.
Yeah, that's
You
crazy.
know what I'm saying?
You think he keeps going up
Yeah. Oh wait, up in weight.
in weight?
Um, I don't know. Charlo was there a lot of people were there. I think he mentioned he wanted to fight Charlo.
Who would you say is the biggest name like around him right now? Like,
The,
like the possible fight, basically.
um, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I think from a fan's perspective, like it seems like most people want that Benavidez fight,
Mhm.
and it just so happens that he fights next week. The plan was for him to fight Uskatigi, which is a former Caleb Plant opponent,
Yeah.
and then that way we could make the Caleb Plant and Benavidez comparison.
Mhm.
Um, but nonetheless, that's a fight I want to see, and I think if Benavidez, I'm sure he will look sensational next week, and stop his opponent. He's not taking on anybody special, because it's a last minute opponent.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's gonna look good and dominant. I'm sure he's gonna call Canelo out after his, what I mean, in the post fight interview, and hopefully that can get brewing. But Canelo signed a 1 fight deal with Showtime, so like he's a free agent again, and he can do whatever he want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind him going up though. I think that's really the only way he can be challenged.
Yeah.
Um, but the crazy thing is he already moved up so many times. So like to ask him to keep doing that is just you know
Yeah, that's kind of
I
crazy.
don't want to But at the same time I'm looking at it like I don't think any of these guys could beat him at 168. Maybe David Benavidez simply because he's strong and
Yeah.
and relentless. But same thing with Caleb Plant, bro. I don't know if he can handle that power, bro. Like cause that's
Mhm.
what it was, man. Plant was looking good until the power got to him, you know. And Canelo was winning pretty handily on the scorecards, but
You think Canelo would have won a decision if it went to decision?
yeah, yeah, because he took over after, like I said, like I gave Plant the first 4 rounds, and then it really wasn't until like the sixth or seventh when Canelo started to really have it in the bag
Mhm.
in terms of taking over the fight and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, man, he stops him, and
Did they shake hands at the end?
yeah, it was all love.
That's cool.
They embraced each other, and Caleb Plant apologized for the MFer and all that stuff, and yeah, he walked out of the ring though. I don't think he got interviewed, and I didn't check out the press conference. I'm gonna have to check that out yet, but um,
Did, so he didn't get like really like battered, like beat up like his face, or you think he did?
nah, man, it was pretty much like Canelo started to land again. Like he really didn't start getting his way with him till like the eighth round,
Mhm.
and then it wasn't really till like the 10th round till he like is where he's really started hitting him and catching him a lot.
Yeah.
But then the 11th round, right in the beginning, in the 11th round, he just comes in and catches him.
Was he landing the big body shots like usual, or?
Um, yeah, a decent amount. Um,
Because
like
I just always suspect like he's gonna drop him with the body shot almost before a fucking headshot.
yeah, that's what we expected, right? Because like
Yeah.
Plant being taller and just having a longer midsection.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, man, he got the job done in the 11th, and like I said, it was pretty much like in the 10th round, you kind of knew the end was coming, and it came right away.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he took a beating. It was pretty much like right away. Once he got hurt, that was it. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah. It was nice, man. And then I, went back to the UFC. I did watch pretty much all the fights except for the Rose fight, because
Yeah, that was
that
going
that that
on.
was on during the Canelo fight.
Yeah, Dana White was fucking, octagon side with his laptop on watching the Canelo fight.
Oh yeah,
I think he said he put $100,000 on Canelo.
nice.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, yeah, man, it was crazy. Like, holy shit. I didn't, it was pretty much everything I expected it to be. Going there, like being in the arena. Like, as soon as we walked in there, like that atmosphere, it was just like it was live like right away. Everybody's drinking too. Like, it was like really. I didn't realize how much of like a drinking event it was gonna be, and it was awesome though. Like the energy in there. Like I got there, and it was pretty much like there were like 2-3 fights in the early prelims,
yeah,
and there it was a decent amount of people in there already. Like I expected it to be a lot more empty, but it was a decent amount of people in there. Um, yeah, so UFC 268, it was Kamaru Usman and Kobe Covington 2, the rematch, and obviously the rematch as well of Rose Namajunas and Zhang Wei Li. So I could start like right when I got there. The first fight that we saw was a heavyweight fight with Gian Vellante and Chris Barnett, heavyweight fight. Um, Chris Barnett, I've seen him fight a couple times, and he's had a couple UFC fights now. This guy's just like a showman. Like he's like a short, like real fat guy.
yeah,
He came out like dancing the whole way out. Watching the fighters walk out too, like that was super dope. And being able to hear their walkout music like really good, like real
Right.
loud in the arena.
yeah.
Like that was like the walkout music was almost my favorite part every time because, like I said, they just played it loud and you hear it good, like good quality. Like it was
Yeah.
awesome. So yeah, Chris Barnett comes out, he's fucking dancing and shit. You know, he goes in the ring, he does like a fucking cartwheel and shit. Like when he walks out. This fight starts, and both guys are real cautious. They don't really throw much. The first round's kind of boring. The crowd's actually like booing. It's like really intense the whole time too. Like when the fight starts, like everybody is like I was surprised like how engaged everybody is. Like everybody really is like really fucking into it.
Yeah.
Like everything, like every little thing, everybody's like like so like fucking tense. Like it was crazy. Like the whole night I have an Apple Watch, so the whole night my heart rate was going up.
Wow.
My Apple Watch would notify me, your heart rate is going up. Your heart rate's going up. It was funny. Like the whole time it was funny. And so yeah, the first round like everybody's kind of booing. Second round starts. Chris Barnett pulls a fucking wheel kick like out of nowhere, and lands it right on the top of his head. And Chris Barnett isn't very tall. I should have checked how tall he is, but he's probably 6 foot, the tallest. I would say 6 foot is the tallest he probably is. And Gian, they're heavyweight, so Gian looked like he was probably like 6'4", 6'5". He was a big guy. And dude, he lands the wheel kick right on top of his head, and the guy just drops. I don't know if they have like the canvas mic'd up or something, but that was like really intense too. Like whenever a fighter would drop, it sounded so loud.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. Like the first couple of times, it was kind of like shocking. I was like, damn, they have to like have a mic on there or something. And this guy's a heavyweight, so he hit him with that kick, and he just fell right down. It was super loud. And then yeah, the fight got stopped. Second round TKO. Chris Barnett, really impressive. The fucking people went crazy. Every time there was a stoppage or a knockout or something,
Yeah.
people went nuts, and we got a lot of them. Like so, I got there for that fight, and then the next like the next 6 fights, including this one, is like 6 knockouts in a row.
Wow.
Either like in the second or first round. So that was that one. The next one, which was the last one of the early prelim, was Ian Gary. He's an Irish fighter. I think it's his UFC debut. He's like 23 years old.
Nice.
Big prospect coming in. People expecting a lot out of him. He fought Jordan Williams. He's been in UFC for a little bit. I think he's lost his last couple fights. The fight starts, and Jordan Williams is actually put it on Ian Gary. He's like really kind of fucking him up. He has his nose bleeding early.
Yeah.
It looked pretty bad, and then he just lands like I think like a left hook it is, lands a perfect left hook with Jordan Williams coming in. I think he like, cause he's putting it on him, and I think he just gets a little overconfident, and like rushes forward, throws the right hand, misses. His chin is just right there, and he hits him. It's funny. He's he Irish. He kind of hits him with that, like the going backwards, like McGregor left hook, like he knocked out Aldo.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the same type of thing. This guy coming forward crazy, lunges forward right hand, and he just steps back and hits him with a left hand like that. And he hits him right in the jaw, and he puts him out right away.
Yeah, I watched that. That was nice.
Yeah, that was
beautiful counter.
Yeah, really nice. Really impressive. Like I said, he was kind of he was putting him on him. He came out. I think he even told Joe Rogan that that was like the first time that he felt like nerves, like in a fight that that he felt like he was could lose or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was dope. He's only like 23 years old, so hopefully they don't throw him right to the Lions. You know what I mean? Hopefully they build him up a little bit. I can see him having a good career. That was at welterweight, 170. So
nice.
You know what I mean? That's a possible opponent for the champ that also fought. So the first fight of the regular prelims, Edmund Shahbazian, he's like a good example of somebody that they kind of built up way too early and then threw into the wolves.
Yeah.
That guy was like supposed to be like Ronda Rousey's protege or some shit like that. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Whatever that even means, I don't know. I think they trained together at some point or something. So I remember he came in undefeated into the UFC, and they like kind of built him up. He fought like Derek Brunson, I think like his first fight in the UFC or something like that. And Derek Brunson now is like a fucking title contender, and Derek Brunson beat him up, and he lost this fight too. I don't even know how to say this guy's name. You know how to say this guy's name?
Nope.
Well, whoever this guy is, he beat the shit out of fucking Shahbazian. Pretty much the whole time. He got the stoppage in the second round. Had him in that crucifix position when he has both his arms trapped.
Yeah.
And it was just landing elbows, dude. And that shit looked so brutal in person. It was like it was wild. He just had him in that crucifix position and was just raining down elbows nonstop until the ref stopped it. But he landed a lot of them. Like he definitely broke his orbital bone. It was bad.
Damn.
And yeah, that was definitely a lot more intense in person. But people loved it. Like like everybody else was fucking going crazy. But like elbows to the head, it was a little more. It was crazy.
I'm not a fan of elbows to the face, bro. Like
it looked very painful, and like we always say, like this isn't a game. Like they're not playing out there. Like and also like I guess like when we watch it on TV, maybe we just don't notice it. But I also noticed a lot more. Almost every one of those guys leaves limping. They're all like fucking need help walking out. Like they really go out there, and when they leave, they're fucked up. Like
yeah, man, and the length of how they are like in that state, that shit could last like weeks, man.
Yeah, and even like the winners, like I'd be surprised. Like even like the winner, this guy just won. You know what I mean? And then you see him, he's hopped up like on adrenaline in the cage. But then when he's walking out, like even the guy who won is like limping and like is like all his trainers like helping him out.
The winner will have it.
Yeah, it's
bad,
crazy.
Like worse.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I just noticed that a lot more. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, Shahbazian got beat the fuck up. Next fight was a middleweight fight. Phil Hawes and Chris Curtis. I think Chris Curtis like came up in weight to fight Phil Hawes, who I seen Phil Hawes fight last couple of times. He's pretty good. I think he's had all finishes so far in the UFC. I think he has like 2 fights.
Nice.
And so that fight starts. He's putting it on Chris Curtis right away. Like he just seems way too fast for him. He's landing at will pretty much, and then Chris Curtis catches him, dude. Just changes the fight with one punch. Like catches him with a left hook, like right on the nose. Hurts him, and is able to finish him. It was really impressive because he was getting beat up. He pretty much looked like he couldn't do anything about the speed, and then just landed a perfect left hook and changed it. Pretty impressive for him, especially like coming up in weight. That jump from welterweight to middleweight is like 15 pounds. You know what I mean? That's a lot. The next fight was a very anticipated fight. Al Iaquinta versus Bobby Green. You watched this one?
I don't think so.
Al Iaquinta. He fights out of fuck, I forget the name of the gym. Wherever Aljamain Sterling, the bantamweight champ, fights out
Oh,
of.
okay.
Because Aljamain was in his corner. Bobby Green, this guy's a veteran. He's just, he's out there just to put a show on, and he's a good ass fighter too. He's been around for a while, and every time he fights is entertaining. So that fight starts at lightweight fight. Bobby Green's out like right away out there taunting, hands down, but moving his head like great, like really, it looks super sharp. Like it looked kind of like I was like, holy shit, I don't know why he's doing this so early, but it was working. Like he has hands down. He was great head movement. Was landing landing counters, and ends it pretty quick. I think like 2 minutes in, he catches him, like just picked him apart. It was I mean, he made it look real easy. He made Iaquinta, and Iaquinta's a tough guy. He made him look like nothing pretty much. It was a really good performance. I think he got a performance of the night bonus.
Nice.
Because like he just looked he looked great. I don't know if there was something wrong with Iaquinta, but yeah, he got beat up. These were all finishes. All finishes since the last two fights that we were talking about.
Yeah.
The feature prelim fight. I was really excited for this fight. Alex Perea was taking on Andreas. How do we say that one? Michaelitis. Yeah. So Alex Perea making his UFC making his UFC debut. He is we talked about him before a while back. When we heard that he got signed by the UFC. He fought Israel Adesanya in Glory Kickboxing, and he beat him for his title. So he's a former Glory Kickboxing champ. We seen the knockout. It was a pretty bad knockout. Like he knocked Izzy out like pretty good, like flatlined him. So he's coming to UFC. Made his debut. Andreas definitely, I think knew what he was up against, and immediately in the first round just tried to wrestle him. And Alex Perea had pretty good takedown defense. He's Brazilian, so I imagine he has done some kind of grappling. At some level.
Yeah.
I don't think he's never done any grappling.
Right.
As a Brazilian, I can't believe that. So I'm sure he's done some kind of grappling. His takedown defense looked really good, and he's really tall. Like that's what I noticed right away. I think they said he's like 6'3", 6'4". So he's almost got that same body type as Izzy, because Izzy's like sneaky tall too. I feel like he doesn't look that tall. But then when you see him in the octagon with the guys, like he always looks so much taller than them.
Right.
So I think he got kind of the same build. He's like real lean and just real long. That perfect like kickboxing style pretty much. And I think he might have gotten taken down. I think he got took down maybe like twice, taken down twice, and was just in the clinch the whole time pretty much. Andreas played it pretty smart and probably won that first round. Second round started, and Perea seemed a lot more, ready to engage.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he started throwing a couple punches, and then he got close to him, and he hit him with a flying knee. Like it was like right in front of him. It's not like he like ran to him. He was like standing right in front of him and jumps up. It looks like he's gonna go up with his left knee, and then like switches to his right knee. Like how high he got his knee was pretty crazy. How he did it, and he put him right out. I think he even goes to kind of walk away, and the ref doesn't stop it right away. So he has to like go back and he punches. I think he punches him once, and then the ref stops it. But really impressive finish. Like I said, even I think the takedown. I think he got taken down once, but even the takedown defense I thought was pretty impressive. I'm excited to see what that guy does. I think that's a great story, obviously, right there, and Izzy's kind of cleared out that middleweight division, so that's exciting to see. Another opponent coming up. And then the main card, man. The main card was fucking crazy. Like hearing Bruce Buffer, was wild in person. Like the light show in the arena is like it's so dope. Like as a production, like everything sounds amazing. Like it looks crazy. There's lights everywhere. Like they make it look like the octagon is glowing and shit. It was wild. And then, oh yeah, like last minute they changed the order of the fights. You know, Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler was supposed to be right before the co-main,
Yeah.
and then they changed it because they all have the same head coach. Trevor Whitman is the head coach of Justin Gaethje, Rose Namajunas, and Kamaru Usman. So that's crazy, man. That guy's most likely gonna end up winning like Coach of the Year
Oh yeah, no
for
doubt.
MMA because like they basically
They all
they
won.
they were talking about like in the embedded series things. I don't know if you watched them, but they basically had like one massive training camp with all three of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was pretty cool. And it was pretty cool because they all had like they all felt different ways about it. You know what I mean? Like, and so because of that, they ended up changing the order of the fight. So because he literally would have went back to back to back fights.
Right.
So they decided to take the Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler fights. Obviously, that one wasn't a title fight, so they decided to make that the first fight of the main card, just so that he doesn't have to go back. He doesn't have to go 3 fights in a row. Now he's just gonna go the 2 in a row, and you got so obviously it benefits Rose the most because she'll have a little more time with him before her fight. So that was wild. Like as soon as they announced that, I was like, dude, that's gonna be crazy. Like
Yeah.
to start off with that fight, and obviously we expected it to be an amazing fight, and it did not disappoint. Man,
Oh yeah.
that was a wild fight, man.
Yeah.
Seeing and like I don't really know how to explain it, but seeing like people hurt in person is just so different. Like so so the fight starts and Justin Gaethje gets hurt. They're both just going at it. They're both swinging, throwing hard leg kicks. Um, I would say Justin Gaethje probably got the better of the leg kicks overall. But so Gaethje gets wobbled early, and like watching him do that in person was just it was crazy. It was intense. Like
Yeah.
it was fucking intense. It got real hot in there real quick too. Like there's so many people in there. Obviously, by the time the main card started, everybody was in their seat. Like it was completely packed. Everybody was there. Everybody was in their seat, and I just felt like it started getting so hot in there. Like it was crazy. I thought Gaethje was done, man. He looked really hurt. I mean, we've seen him do that before. I've seen him do that before and survive, and then seen him do that before and lose. Like he did the same thing, I think, against Poirier, and Poirier was able to finish him. And then he had another fight. I think he fight Michael Johnson, and Michael Johnson had him hurt, but wasn't able to finish him, and then Gaethje finished him. Um, and that's almost what happened here. So that first round definitely went to Chandler. Chandler had Gaethje really hurt, wasn't able to finish him. Um, and I think Chandler like almost pretty much like emptied out the gas tank, because I think he's known for having pretty good cardio, and by the end of the fight, I mean rightfully so, they were both really tired by the end. It went all 5 rounds, but I really think he emptied the gas tank in that first round. I think he really wanted that first round
Yeah.
finish. I think that's what he called too. I think they both called that they're gonna finish the
Yeah.
other one in the first round. So second round starts. Same, they're going at it. Gaethje hurts Chandler. He hits him with the uppercut, and he
Yeah.
falls back and lands. And same thing, like seeing somebody's head get snapped back like that in person is just like very like I was like so shocked, like to like the sound and then when he hit him with the uppercut,
Yeah.
his head went right up and he just fucking slammed down. And then Gaethje lands like a big punch right after. I'm surprised he didn't stop it right there. Like I think that would have been a fair stoppage. With that first punch that he lands on the ground, Gaethje just comes like right from where he's standing, like all the way down straight to his face, and like Chandler pretty much turns around and grabs Gaethje's leg, and the ref lets it go. I thought Chandler was done. He ends up surviving. Um, that was crazy. And then it's pretty much 3 more rounds of the same shit. Like those were the 2 most significant points where they were kind of hurt. And then after that, they were each kind of hurting each other. But I don't think anybody was dropped after that. But man, a whole lot of leg kicks. I think they said they combined for like 1,600 strikes, significant strikes.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they said they broke the record for most significant strikes in a fight.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, really, really, really intense. And dude, the people loved it. You couldn't write it better. It was almost like they agreed to almost finish each other, but then not finish each other. Like You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it was crazy. Like you couldn't make that. You can't make that shit up. Like it was crazy. Uh, Gaethje, Gaethje gets the decision. I think he gets it because the fifth round, Michael Chandler, I think is obviously more gassed, and I think it's the leg too. I think as like Gaethje does everybody, I think he just killed his front leg, and Chandler couldn't move. But
Wait, was that a five? That wasn't a 5 round fight, was it?
oh no, it was 3 rounds. Did I say 5 rounds?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
said
yeah.
the 5th round. So the 3rd round.
So the third round,
Yeah. Nah, you good.
yeah, so the third round, Gaethje wins. Chandler's gassed, and hurt. He's hurt the whole time, and Gaethje's definitely getting the better of him. And then at the end, he's kind of just trying to stay away from him. You can tell he can't stay in one position because his leg is pretty much done.
Yeah.
He does a good job of kind of hiding it by hopping around, but Chandler was obviously he left it all out there. Gaethje definitely got the win. It was crazy, and it was cool to see them also show love at the end and
Yeah.
hug each other and shit. It was dope. They were talking a lot of shit. And it just seems like it just means that much more when you see it live again. Like it's just like everything just seems to mean so
Yeah.
much more. Like that embrace is like almost wild. Like damn, these guys really were just really fucking hurting each other really bad right now.
Yeah.
Both those guys, I think they said they took right to the hospital, rightfully so. They both probably got a little bit of brain damage. That was an intense fight,
Yeah.
and I don't know how any other fight was gonna, fucking
Top that.
top that. Shane Burgos and Billy Quarantino were the next fight,
Really cute.
and they did a pretty good job of trying to top that one. They had it was another war back and forth. Shane Burgos hurt Billy Q, I think, in the second round. Hurt him pretty bad, but Billy Q survives. And a lot of back and forth. I remember Shane Burgos' last fight, he had that kind of scary knockout with Edson Barbosa. Edson Barbosa hits him with a shot,
Yeah.
and he kind of has like that delayed reaction to it where he hit him, and then he seems Burgos looks like he's good, and then he just like slowly starts falling backwards. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of scary. But he seemed good. I mean, he took a lot of. I mean, he's one of those guys, but that's kind of his style, I think, to take a lot of damage, which it's not very smart. But he always puts on a good show. Obviously, that's why he got on the main card. Like it was a hell of a fight. But props to Billy Q too. He was a warrior. He survived.
Yeah.
Obviously, he obviously survived it. Like a lot of back and forth. The next fight I was really excited for. Marlon Chito Vera and Frankie Edgar. There was like a whole family, like 4 or 5 Ecuadorians that sat right behind us.
Nice.
They had the Ecuadorian flag, like they had the big flag and shit.
Yeah.
It was pretty dope. It's crazy, like out of everywhere I sat. But there was a couple you could see. There was a couple people, like Ecuadorians. They had the flag. At least like 2 other ones.
Yeah.
And I talked to them, and they told me that they flew in from Ecuador to watch him fight, like for this fight.
Wow.
They flew in from South America to New York for the fight.
That's insane.
That's pretty crazy.
I mean, yeah.
But when you think about it, with New York City, like a lot of those people probably fly in from all over the place. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's probably pretty common. But yeah, man, I was really excited to see Chito fight. Frankie Edgar's a legend. Definitely towards the end of his career, but former lightweight champ. He went down in weight. Like I feel like a lot of the veterans had to do that because they didn't cut as much weight back then. You know what I mean? Like Frankie
Yeah.
Edgar was a lightweight, and you look at him, he's pretty small, but he was like jacked too. He was like little, and he was like always real stocky. So he's bantamweight now, fighting Chito, and he looked really good in the first round. He took Chito down, and Chito was landing some pretty good elbows from the ground. Like he definitely hurt him with at least a couple of them. He was like hitting him on the top of the head with elbows from the bottom, but Frankie dominated position. You know what I mean? And definitely won the first round. Second round, Chito was putting it on him a little more. Chito didn't seem very like he didn't seem like he was very concerned to push push the fight forward. Like he was just kind of like letting Frankie come to him, but wasn't super active. I was kind of like, I was getting a little frustrated. I thought he should have been more active. But I would say he definitely won the. No, actually no, because I think Frankie took him down too. He took him down in the second round, so I wouldn't say he won the second round either. Third round, I'm starting to get really frustrated. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, what the fuck is he waiting for? It's like Chito's waiting for something, man. And I don't know if he was setting it up, setting it up the whole time or what, but and then out of nowhere, like at the end of the third round, I'm saying to myself that he has to get the finish or he's gonna lose his fight. If there goes a decision, he definitely loses the decision. Especially New York. Frankie's like from Jersey. I mean, he's pretty much fighting at home.
Yeah.
He's not gonna win decision in Madison Square Garden against Frankie Edgar. He hits him with the fucking Anderson Silva up kick, like right to the jaw. They showed in slow motion. Chito has his like toes like pointed up perfectly, hits him with like the bottom like ball of his foot, and like right on the fucking jaw and puts him out. Frankie falls. I think Chito hits him with one punch, and then Frankie is kind of like he's kind of he kind of argues the stoppage a little bit, but once he stood up, you could see he was wobbly. Like I think it was definitely the right.
That was a good stoppage.
Yeah, definitely a good stoppage. Man, really impressive from Chito. He definitely needed that. I know he wanted to make a statement. With that fight with Frankie Edgar. I think Frankie's ranked like 7th or 8th, and Chito is like 14th. So he'll definitely jump up in the rankings. That bantamweight division is scary though, man. Like that top 10 of the bantamweight division is like all killers. So I'm excited. I'm glad Chito's going up there slow. He's been on the wrong end of a lot of bad decisions lately, so it's also good to see him get a stoppage. I don't think he's had one in a little bit. I think this last one was the Sean O'Malley one, but obviously that was like when Sean hurt his leg or whatever. But which obviously is still a win. I fucking hate that O'Malley like doesn't count that as a win. That's really my main thing with him. That's why I hate on him.
Yeah,
because he says his one loss isn't a loss. He always says he's still undefeated. But yeah,
it's that bullshit.
A lot of fighters in the building too. It was pretty cool. They showed all the fighters that were there. Heavyweight champ Francis Ngannou, flyweight female champ Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah.
Glover Teixeira, new lightweight champion was there. It was dope. It was cool. All right, and then the co-main event, Rose Namajunas and Zhang Weili. It was a really good fight. Rose looked. I would say Rose definitely. Like Zhang Weili definitely came out totally different style. So like she definitely came out like moving totally different, moving really well. It definitely looked like Rose like had trouble like finding her distance. She definitely like didn't find her distance right away, like it was like she did in the first fight. She seemed a little more uncomfortable. Also, something that I should say was that I did notice, and they even mentioned it in the post fight conference in the post fight conference, right? No, press conference. The mat or the canvas was like slippery. A lot of fighters were slipping.
Oh yeah.
A lot of fighters were slipping, and I don't know what it was, but they all said it. They asked Dana White about it in the thing, and he was like, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know if it was a different material or what, but a lot of fighters were slipping, and Rose said that was kind of the reason too that she kind of was a little hesitant in the beginning because she slipped a couple times, and yeah, a lot of fighters were slipping. So Zhang Weili comes out totally different style. She was training here in America with Henry Cejudo and his team. So obviously we know she's gonna try to wrestle. She also was using the calf kick, that everybody uses. She was also coming out landing hard calf kicks on Rose. She looked good. She looked really good. She gets a takedown in the first round and does pretty good. I would say she wins that first round with the takedown. She's also more hesitant too, Zhang Weili, like especially like on her hands. Like I remember in that first fight, she's throwing like power shots right away. She was definitely, had a different game plan and was sticking to the game plan. She looked really good. First round, I would definitely give to Weili. Um, Second round, I would also give to her. I think she got another takedown, and then Rose. I think Rose took her down then as well in the second round. And then I don't know if Rose just, I don't know if it's because she was slipping or what, but in the last two rounds she did the same thing. She pretty much kept taking her down and dominated her on the ground. I wouldn't like on the feet. Um, she just seemed like she just never found her rhythm or her distance on the feet. Like she did, she did land a lot of punches, but not like before. What I mean, not like so much at
Yeah.
will. Like Weili was moving really well. Um, I think just her like the wrestling. Obviously, she's still kind of new to it, so I think like she was doing well. But then I think once Rose realized her game plan, she was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna, what I mean, I'm gonna do what you want to do, and I'm gonna do it better. And yeah, she pretty much dominated her on the ground. I think she did land a big head kick in the last round, and that was a pretty significant strike. Ends up getting the decision. Um, Weili looked way better. What I mean, she definitely looked way better in this fight. Um, I don't know what would be next for her. Um, but I think she's definitely gonna be around. She's definitely gonna be around for a while. Um, Rose looked good. I just don't think she looked. I mean, she said it too. She admitted that she didn't feel like as sharp, and she didn't look as sharp on the feet. Um, but hell of a performance. She still got the win. I mean, that's some champion shit to be able to still, I mean, on an off night. Not
Yeah.
that it was an off night, but we've seen her be pretty sharp. Still be able to get the win. Um, yeah, for sure. The main event, it was kind of a similar story. Not in the wrestling, but just in the preparation. I think Colby Covington really, prepared really well and completely looked like a different fighter. Like he also, I mean, he didn't come out, head hunting right away either. He was a lot more, and he looked like he was a lot more reserved, and his defense was a lot better, and looked like a totally different fighter. Um, I think he also went to a different camp, to like a different team, a different team of coaches for this fight. Obviously, I'm sure after the first one, he knew he was gonna fight Kamaru again, and they've been preparing for a while. Um, and Kamaru looked, I mean, in the first round was pretty even. Like I said, I was surprised that Kobe wasn't. Kobe's kind of known for his pressure, and I think he probably knew. Obviously, I think he kind of got tired at the end of their last fight, so he was not putting that normal pressure on. Like he's usually known for that, and breaks guys down with his pressure. But didn't do that. It was pretty even first couple rounds. Well, the first round, second round, Kamaru does hurt him pretty bad, and doesn't go crazy and try to finish him. I mean, he does try to finish him, but doesn't empty the tank, doesn't go wild. He stays pretty, like a champion, stays pretty calm and tries to finish him, doesn't get it. Colby survives. Really impressive by Colby. Like I thought he was done there. He stayed composed and seemed pretty smart. He caught Kamaru then later on, like in the fourth and fifth, caught him a couple times, but never really hurt him. I don't think we ever seen Usman hurt. Like we've seen him drop. I think Gilbert Burns dropped him, but he seems like his head is like fucking made out of
Yeah.
steel. Like even after this fight, he took a lot of hits, and after every fight, he looks like he didn't take any punches. Like he never gets any swelling or anything. It's pretty crazy. So this fight goes to decision. It was a war the whole time too. Obviously, Kamaru was putting it on Kobe more. Kobe was all beat. He was all beat the fuck up.
Yeah.
Um, it was really cool to see them two, shake, meet in the middle at the end and have some words and hug it out and shit.
Yeah.
Um, Especially because Kobe said in the press conference before the fight, they had asked him, "Oh well, win or lose, are you gonna shake his hand?" And he's like, "Nah, fuck that. I don't respect them." But
Yeah,
they
there's a
shared
lot of
fucking 2 fights now, 10 rounds in the octagon. Yeah, I mean,
a lot of animosity in that press conference. So.
yeah, hell yeah. So it was really dope seeing them show love at the end.
Yeah. Facts.
Man, the card definitely lived up to the hype. The
Mm-hmm.
the experience of being there.
Well, from what I saw.
Yeah, from like what we see on TV, like I like that's why I went because every time I see it on TV, I'm like, man, I want to go and experience that. Like when the fighters are coming out and everybody's going crazy.
Yeah.
It definitely was everything. Everything it looks like on TV is exactly what it is, man. It was awesome. I would definitely do it again. Probably plan it out a little better, but I would definitely do that again.
Dope, man. Dope.
Maybe we'll do a boxing one next time.
Yeah.
I think there's a fight coming up in MSG. Isn't Lomachenko fighting in MSG?
Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah, I saw some things at like in the stadium
matter of fact,
promoting it.
Let me just So that was UFC 268 then, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so we'll move on to future events like next week or this week, this Saturday. I guess I'll just start with boxing. David Benavidez fights Cairo Davis. That's what I was trying to say. Talk about earlier with the whole Andre Durrell thing.
Yeah. Last minute change, right?
Yeah, last minute change. He was supposed to fight Uzcategui. Didn't happen. So Uzcategui, yeah, I guess he tested positive for some banned substance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what I had read.
Yeah, I thought it was COVID, but I guess it's a banned substance.
I forget what it was, but yeah, they said it was he tested positive for some kind of a what they called PED.
Yeah. Well, whatever. So now we get to see him. We get to see David Benavidez take on Cairo Davis in a 12 round.
What do you think of that?
I think, I said it earlier, man. I think Benavidez is gonna knock him out in a sensational fashion, and he'll call out Canelo, and maybe we'll get that fight brewing.
Nice.
But also on that same day on DAZN, that's a Showtime fight, by the way. On DAZN, you have Jaime Munguia taking on Gabe Rosado for Jaime Munguia's middleweight championship, I believe.
Nice.
Whichever one he holds. If he even holds one. I'm tripping. No, I think he does. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I think that's going to be like fight of the year.
Oh, word?
Yeah, definitely, because Gabe Rosado comes to fight. He's one of those he's a seasoned journeyman who just knocked out an up-and-coming prospect. I forget the dude's name, man. I'm sorry. But dude was undefeated and knocked him out in what could be knockout of the year earlier this year. So, deserves this little title shot. Gabe Rosado's from Philly, Puerto Rican dude, and Jaime Munguia's from Mexico. So, nice little rivalry there.
Nice.
Yeah, and Demetrius Andre taking on Jason Quigley for his WBO title, November 19th. That's happening. I think that's a Friday. The Friday before November 20th, which is going to be probably my favorite fight of the year, man. Terence Crawford taking on Sean Porter.
Yes.
ESPN pay-per-view. That's going to be a great one. Sean Porter, man.
Who do you got in that one?
I don't know, man. No, I think I got Crawford, man.
Yeah.
I just don't know how I see the fight playing out, man. But it's just Crawford is one of those guys where it's hard to see him lose.
Yeah, for sure.
But Sean Porter, man, he's never been in a fight. He's never not been in a fight. In all his losses. That has a pretty good co-feature with Isaac Dogbo taking on Christopher Diaz. Both former opponents of Emmanuel Navarrete.
Nice.
I think that should be a good one. Dogbo being from Ghana, Africa, and Christopher Diaz is Puerto Rican. Featherweight action. Again, I'm just reading this off the ESPN website. November 27th, you got Teofimo Lopez on DAZN taking on George Kambosos. Finally. Can't mention that fight without saying finally. Same day, you have... November 27th is going to be a good day for boxing. You have Brandon Figueroa taking on Stefan Fulton on Showtime. That's going to be a good one too, man. Gary Antonio Russell taking on Alejandro Santiago on that card. That's cool. Devin Haney, Joseph Diaz taking on DAZN. The day before, Javante Davis takes on Isaac Cruz. because of the whole Rolly Romero situation.
Oh yeah.
And I was leading up to December 11th, New York, Madison Square Garden, ESPN Plus, Vasily Lomachenko taking on a former Teofimo Lopez opponent in Richard Comey. Former champion too, I believe. Yeah, because that's one of the guys that Teofimo had to beat to.
And Loma really wants that fucking rematch.
Yeah, man. I don't think Teofimo wants to give it to him. He's very salty that there was no rematch clause because he said, well, if I lost, they wouldn't have given me a rematch.
Yeah.
But that's not true. I mean, you can't think that's true because if you remember, Teofimo Lopez wasn't gonna fight because he wasn't getting enough money.
But he also wasn't the champ. I think it's different when the champ loses. You know what I mean? Like if Lomachenko, if
No. So I believe he beat Richard Comey for the IBF title.
Who?
Teofimo.
Okay.
And
so he had one.
Right.
Okay.
He was coming in with the title.
Oh, okay. So they were both they were both
right.
champions.
And but he was gonna pull out of the fight because of money, because remember, like, this fight was brewing before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So like then the pandemic happened, and then it was like.
Right. This was one of the first fights back, right?
Right. And yeah, so they couldn't make enough money because they couldn't get an audience and all that stuff. So Teofimo Lopez was gonna pull out because he wasn't gonna get enough money. And then Lomachenko actually gave him part of his purse
to make the fight happen.
Oh
shit!
So, yeah. So like there's no proof that you wouldn't have got a rematch, bro. This is something that the fans want to see. It could possibly be on pay-per-view, which is money.
And it's a big fight for him too.
Exactly. More of a career-defining fight because the first one, not to say that people could say it was a fluke, but the first one, Lomachenko did have a shoulder injury. He did have surgery after the fight, and that could be the reason for his inactivity in those first 5, 6, 7 rounds.
And he was, even though it was really late, he was taking over at the end of the fight.
Yeah, put it this way. It's like on the rounds that... So obviously, Teofimo Lopez won the fight because he won more rounds.
Yeah.
But on the rounds that Lomachenko won, he won much...
More decisive.
More convincingly, yeah. That's a rematch I would love to see. I hope Teofimo Lopez gets his head out of his ass and fucking...
I think he's just enjoying it a lot right now.
Yeah. Well, he has to take on Kambosos in a couple of weeks.
You know that guy, the Mountain, the guy that was punching him in the stomach?
Yeah.
Apparently he's boxing now. I didn't know that. But, but that's why they were in the gym together. Apparently that guy is doing pro boxing now. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
He might have already had a fight and is training for another fight, I think.
He can fight the Eddie Hall, I think his name is. The world's strongest man.
Yeah.
He was in tough man competitions and shit. He's basically another Butterbean.
Oh, really?
Except he's not a fat strong guy. He got abs and shit, but he's huge. He's a 300-pound dude. He's like a bodybuilder pretty much type build.
Yeah, the Mountains seem to have gotten a lot slimmer now. And
yeah, he's gonna need to do that if he wants to box, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. You ever seen that little thing of him and Conor McGregor doing a little playful sparring?
Yeah, I've seen that.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in that video, he was really big. He was he looked more like those strong men. They're just not fat, but they're really wide. They have a lot of mass.
Right, a lot of mass.
And now he looks a lot more ripped. He looks a lot more ripped up. I'd be interested to see him fight. I don't see how he does. I don't know if he has any background in fighting, but
I'd be thinking about like Oprah when she's like, "You get a car, everybody gets a car," all that stupid shit. Like celebrities, you get a fight,
Yeah.
Everybody gets to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn. But yeah, I mean that's cool. Whatever. As long as if that's what people want.
Right? I think as long as the person takes it serious, you know what I mean, and is doing what they got to do, it will ultimately bring more attention. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, Jake Paul had that press conference on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right before the Canelo fight.
For once, I didn't see much about it.
Right. I'm kind of glad. Yeah. I think this might be his last fight with Showtime.
Really?
I think he only signed a 2-fight deal or whatever.
I'm surprised that Showtime, if this is his last fight with them, I'm surprised they let it be with Tommy Fury instead of a bigger name. I just don't feel like that's a name at all.
He's a big name in UK.
Yeah.
So.
But does he have like oh yeah, he was like on some TV show or something,
Yeah,
right?
he
I
was
forget. So
a reality
he probably
show
does have
star.
some. So he probably has some
He
kind
yeah
of
he
equal
has big
fans.
fame, and he's gonna be considered a real boxer. Plus, it's the name Fury, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah, I
You know
just
what I
keep
mean?
thinking like, who wants to see Jake Paul fight this guy? Like, I don't like, I don't want to watch that one.
Yeah, well, regardless, it's happening. I
As
don't have the date on it, and I don't really care to look it up. So,
Yeah, it's always
but
been kind of hard to admit. It's always been hard to admit like the other fights that like I kind of wanted to watch them, but this one not. Cause say I don't really care about this one.
yeah,
I want to see him fight another real
sorry,
fighter.
Showtime.
Yeah, whether it's an MMA fighter or a boxer, like I want to see him.
Unless, and I'm gonna consistently advocate for this, unless you give me a fire ass undercard. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, which damn, they've been slowly adding fights to it. There's a basketball player.
No,
Fuck.
no, not like that. Oh
No,
God.
yeah, there's a basketball player that's fighting. Fuck, what's his name? Darren Williams.
I said fire
Is it
ass.
is it Darren Williams? I think. Do you know who that is?
Nah.
He was a point guard for a while. For fuck, I don't even know who, but he's retired now. Darren Williams. Forget who he played for, but supposedly he's fighting somebody on the undercard. So yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
It's kind of the opposite of what you just said.
I'm not watching this.
So that's what I mean. Like, I want to see Jake Paul fight like real boxers, like with real undercards and shit. Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, this could be the stepping stone to that. So like, this could be the step. Like, they're gonna try to sell it like, oh, he's fighting a real fighter, blah blah blah. He's Tyson Fury's brother, blah blah blah. Maybe this could be the one. No, this is gonna be the one where he beats quote unquote a real boxer with those credentials, false credentials, and then he steps up, and then possibly faces. Remember, we think it might be Nate Diaz.
That's why I don't think that I don't think this could be the last fight on his contract with Showtime, because I don't think they would let.
I gotta double check. He might
Big-
have one more.
I think he probably does, because this is like a build up fight to another one. Like he has to, like, this is the fight that he's gonna get like another big knockout,
Yeah.
and everybody's gonna go crazy again, and then they can set up some other big super fight or whatever. No, I don't even want to say super fight, but some other fight. But
yeah. I do remember thinking like, and I think I said it in the podcast after the Jake Paul card with Tyrone Woodley,
yeah.
that Tommy Fury, he leaves his hand low. His left hand is open for the right. That overhand right, which Jake Paul likes to throw a lot. Seems to be one of his only punches he throws decent.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of perfect for him. Yeah, I'm guessing that's the plan. Get the big knockout over him, and then try to lure in either a real boxer or somebody that really can knock him out. Somebody like
Yeah.
a Nate Diaz, or But we'll see what's up.
Yeah. So
guess.
speaking of Nate Diaz, he has one more fight in his contract. The UFC obviously wants it to be a big one. I think that's why the Vicente Luque fight didn't happen, because even though that would be a good fight, like like people who watch it know that's gonna be a good fight, but Vicente Luque isn't a very big name.
Yeah.
Obviously, they want, especially if this is gonna be his last one, and it doesn't look like he's gonna resign. I think the UFC wants to get a big one. They want to get a big one out of him. The biggest one would obviously be the trilogy fight with Conor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that at all.
Neither would I, because I think Nate Diaz would whip his ass.
Right now, he probably would.
Yeah. And
it'd probably be an awesome fight. I would love to see it. Yeah, I don't think Conor wants to do that one next. But I think the UFC, Dana White said that they're gonna talk to Nate about Chimaev, the Russian guy.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if Nate does that one. Nate tweeted out something last week like,
Yeah, that doesn't really interest me that much.
yeah, and Nate was like, oh, this guy's fucking choking out blue belts or whatever. I guess the Chinese guy that he choked out in the first couple minutes in that fight apparently has like no ground game. So Nate was pretty much saying that wasn't impressive. That wasn't impressive to him. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what's up with Nate, what he does. I thought we were gonna see him, before the end of the year, but I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. Chimaev, said that he does want to fight by the end of the year. So even him and Luque would be a good fight.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's interesting about Luque too? Luque was supposedly the like gonna be the, what's it called? the like sub. If one of the fighters got hurt or something, the alternate,
Right.
the alternate fighter for the main event for the 268,
268.
and he missed weight apparently. He missed weight as the one of the alternates, and I think he gets fined for not making weight. Still, it's pretty.
Wow.
That has to suck. You're not even fighting, and
You're
then
not even fighting, right?
and you fucking miss. Which is not a good thing. Dana White in the press conference they asked him about it. He was like, "Yeah, that's not good." He's like, literally the only thing you have to do here is make weight, just in case something happens.
Yeah.
So that's weird. That's not good. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see. Next week. Oh shit, it's actually a really good fight next week. Featherweight. Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez. That should be a really
Nice.
fun fight. Yair
Yeah.
Rodriguez, I think, is another guy that came in real young, and they kind of threw him to the wolves too early.
Yeah.
I think it was Frankie Edgar, actually. I think they gave this was years ago. When Yair Rodriguez came in, he was really young. I think he's Mexican, and he fought Frankie Edgar when Frankie Edgar was more in his prime, and Frankie Edgar put a fucking beating on him, and everybody was real high on Rodriguez, but I think he just fought Frankie Edgar way too early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that time, I mean, he still is. Frankie Edgar's a beast. You know what I mean? That was crazy. So since then, he's had a lot of he's had a lot of wins. He had that war with the Korean Zombie. He knocks him out with like a spinning elbow, like in the last minute or something.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So him and Max Holloway, man, that's gonna be a wild fight. I don't see anybody beating Max, honestly. Like, that'd be crazy. I think another big fight that they could always make too is Max Holloway and I was gonna say and Connor, but there would be no belt. There would be no belt there, so that would be kind of hard. But because Connor beat Max, and I don't see anybody else beating Max. Even like when Volkanovski beat him, it was very close fights. He never really hurt him.
They should make that fight though.
What?
The Connor fight. Max.
I think so because
Yeah.
Max has pretty much fought everybody else in that division, and even though Yair Rodriguez is really good, he might be top 3. Definitely top 5, maybe top 3 featherweight. I don't think he's better than Max. And especially right now, Max is like kind of still in his prime, like the last couple years of his prime.
Yeah.
I feel they gotta get him like those big fights. Cause this one's big, but it's not as big as obviously as a Connor. The fight looks decent. The card looks decent. That rematch with Kevin Holland and Kyle Dawkins is gonna be on here. They had like that weird headbutt knockout.
Yeah.
With Kevin Holland got headbutted and like fucking got knocked out by it pretty much. So yeah, that should be pretty good. Another fight night on the 20th. Misha Tate second fight back fights Ketlin Vieira, Brazilian fighter. She's actually really good. I've seen her fight a couple times. She's good, so that should be a fun fight. December 4th, another fight night. Rob Font, Jose Aldo. Damn, that's a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
Rob Font, his last fight, he beat Kobe Garbrandt. He like beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised he's fighting Jose Aldo. I feel like that's kind of, Jose Aldo's coming off a big win. I forget who it was that he fought last, but he had a big win last. That guy's, it's crazy that he's still around, man. I remember when I first started watching UFC, he was like, he was dominating the featherweight division. He's another guy that had to move down. Move down in weight. Now he's in bantamweight. Yeah. And then 269, Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena, Leon Edwards, and Jorge Masvidal. Colby Covington called out Masvidal at the post-fight conference. He was saying, yeah, Masvidal should just drop out of that fight with Leon Edwards. I think he called him like loser Edwards or something. He should drop out of that fight with loser Edwards and fight me like, first quarter in that next year. So that would be a fun fight to watch because they have a lot of animosity too. Kobe and Masvidal. I think they were like roommates at some point or something. Like when they first started out. I think they're both from Miami. They both started fighting in Miami. Well, obviously Jorge's from Miami. I think Kobe might be too. But he had like a coat. He had like a suit on at the press conference before the fight that said like King of Miami or something. So he was saying, yeah, me and Jorge
Cool.
should fight in Miami. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But Jorge's gonna he's got his hands full with Leon Edwards. Leon's real good. Leon just had a lot of bad luck. I mean, he always like something happens and doesn't get. Always gets overlooked. Even though he's like on a, I think he might have like the longest active winning streak in the UFC right now. He hasn't lost
Good
since
shit.
he lost to Usman like years ago. So yeah, this should be a really good card. 269 is on December 11th.
So that's the Loma. That's the same as the Loma fight.
Yeah, and then what was it? This fight, the Miesha Tate one is the same night as the Terence Crawford one, right? That's the 20th.
And Holloway fight, that's next week. So that's Benavidez fight in the.
Yeah.
So geez, man, a lot of good fights, a lot of good action. Like regardless of which sport you like.
Yeah, it's really been.
And especially if you like both, man.
I was gonna say if you like both and either or, it seems like every weekend we have both every weekend.
Yeah.
Whether it's Bellator or UFC. UFC's been having a lot of fight nights now.
Yeah. And a lot of boxing, I think
ESPN's doing a good job. With the boxing on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, top rank. Yeah.
Like I've been seeing it a lot more now. Like when I go on ESPN Plus, I see a lot more all the boxing events that are coming up and shit. Yeah, really dope.
Yeah, man. So, it's funny because I said like last week, I was like that was one of the best weekends for combat sports, and I feel like this weekend was one of the better weekends for combat sports. Next weekend could easily be really like almost every weekend for at least till like the middle of December. When is that paper Oliveira? Was that 269?
December 11th.
Yeah, so like pretty much up until then, like we got some scraps, man. We got some good weekends of fights, man. That's
Hell
awesome.
Yeah. Combat sports is alive and well.
Facts. Word. Well,
yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got too. Yeah. So, anyways, man. Until next week. My name is Manny.
My name's Alberto.
This is the OnlyFights Podcast. We out.
Peace.
Peace.